Oddly Stevenson here. I am the host of the Audacious Living podcast. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for checking me out on this YouTube live. Of course, the goal is every week to do a live recap of the last 5 episodes of the Audacious Living podcast. And I got to apologize because we did the first one a few weeks ago, and the intent was to continue them weekly. And again, just provide a quick recap and synopsis with the intention of encouraging listeners to go and check out the actual episodes themselves. And life got in the way and things got busy, and so we weren't able to continue, but we're back on it here. We're going to keep it going, and again, really with the intent of giving you an opportunity, really encouraging you to sort of check out the past, at least the last 5 episodes that we're going to do. So if you haven't checked out these episodes yet, I would highly encourage you to do so. There's some incredible wisdom and inspiring stories in these episodes. And so we're going to talk about the last 5 episodes. We're going to give a quick recap of each episode and highlight one thing I loved about the guests of the conversation. And of course, we want to make sure this is a takeaway. So we're going to share a key lesson in, fix my stand here. Oops. Bear with me, my mic stand slipping. See, it's technical difficulties. You just got to operate on the fly, folks. Oops, 1 second, I'm with you. I'll get that mic fixed. There we go. Oops. Just bear with me. This is what we call technical difficulties. This is what we call live streaming. This is what happens on live stream. Anyhow, while I'm fixing that and getting this all set, it may not, so we might have to go without it. No, we're gonna fix this. Bear with me. Oh man, totally unexpected. This is what you call live. The back in the day, you know what? We're gonna do it this way. Here we go. So we are here. And like I said, we're going to do a quick recap of the last 5 episodes. We're also going to, again, talk about key lesson, what we like, what we learned, what we appreciated. So if this is your opportunity, first time here, enjoy the ride, check it out, get comfy, get your favorite beverage of choice, and really let's dive into this. I want to start with episode 464 of the Audacious Living podcast. John Verico was our guest. And he had a long storied career in public affairs in government, and he discussed his journey as well as the importance of storytelling and the power of personal motivation. He emphasized how challenges shape our past and the significance in understanding our why in life. And again, knowing why you do what you do is so important. And so John did that. The conversation, it flowed with the metaphor of life as a roller coaster, and highlighting that both there's highs and lows. And I think the important thing to understand those highs and lows is that they are both essential for growth, really. The thing I loved about John was the ability to connect personal experiences such as overcoming bullying to broader themes of resilience and empowerment. His use of the torch metaphor to illustrate how individuals can combine individual light to banish the darkness. Was really inspiring, and I really appreciated that. As far as a lesson, one of the things that I took away from our conversation with John is the importance again of storytelling and how we can use stories to create connection and understanding. And really by sharing our stories, we can not only inspire others but also foster a sense of community and acceptance. Certainly feel free to chime in, but again, John Verico offered a really powerful story. In episode 465, another really engaging episode. James Robbins, he's a leadership consultant and expert, and he shared his journey from growing up on a cattle ranch in Alberta to becoming a leadership expert as well as an author. He discussed the evolution of his own personal career, starting in ministry and transitioning into leadership as well as coaching. The conversation really delved into the significance of audacious living and how small, consistent acts can significantly influence leadership effectiveness. I think one of the examples that he gave gave as he talked about, and John having a background in mountain climbing, he gave an example that it takes 60,000 individual steps to climb the top of Mount Everest. But now those steps might be small, they may seem insignificant in the moment, but they certainly are powerful. And I thought that was a really, really, really good example. And really what it led to is, him emphasizing the importance of individual growth and teamwork in overcoming challenges. The thing I loved about John is I really appreciated his authenticity and the way he intertwined, his personal experiences with professional insights. Certainly his background in ministry added a unique depth to his understanding of leadership, showcasing how personal values can shape one's professional journey. And if you heard that particular interview, you would also know that I committed to joining John and climbing a mountain later on this summer. So keep an eye out for that. That certainly was a key insight and certainly a takeaway that I'm certainly remember. So I got time to train and prepare, but yeah, keep your eyes locked and peeled because it looks like I'm climbing a mountain at some point. So I'll keep you posted on that. In episode 466, we caught up with Zoma B. Williams, aka the swearing therapist. Zoma was such a delight and such a pleasure to talk to. She certainly had an inspiring journey of her own from working in accounting to becoming a licensed therapist after overcoming breast cancer. She discusses her passion for helping others, her educational journey, which started later on in life, and the importance of resilience in the face of challenges. Again, Zoma's story was so powerful. She emphasized that everyone has a track record of overcoming difficulties and really encouraging listeners to acknowledge their strengths. And that really is a key point we talk about. Everyone has a track record because we all face obstacles. We all face challenges, things that are difficult, and it's really incumbent on us to get by them. And we do. So often that we do, but what we don't oftentimes do is give ourselves credit and take stock of those achievements because we just kind of move on to the next one. And I get it, life is a forward progression. But if we really stop for a moment and acknowledge what we've done and what we've overcome, I like to call it celebrating our wins. Celebrate your wins, give yourself credit, remember what that journey was because it may come up again, or maybe someone else that may go through a similar challenge, and you're going to need to draw on that, and those experiences will give you the strength that you need to certainly move forward. That's really what I loved about her. I think Zoma's authenticity and her boldness and in using humor and swearing to connect with her clients, I thought was, again, she put her authenticity on display, and I really love that. Her approach makes therapy more relatable and shows how she creates a comfortable environment for open conversations. And again, that's so key. A significant takeaway from this episode is the idea that challenges can reveal our inner strength and as well as our resilience. Zoma encourages listeners to take, one step at a time and reminds us that we have 100% success rate in overcoming our past challenges. We just have to remember that. And that can be, so inspiring as we look to face new ones, and they'll give us the courage that we need. And again, this episode serves as a powerful reminder that it's essential to give ourselves credit for our journey and realize that taking action, even in small steps, is crucial for personal growth and healing. As we continue to move forward, episode 467, we had the good pleasure of sitting down with Teresa McClough. She's a leadership consultant as well, and she discussed the importance of facilitation skills in leadership. And it's really interesting because we don't often equate facilitation and leadership. Facilitation draws of other connotations, but she really shares her personal journey that led her to explore industrial organizational psychology and the lessons learned from observing both good and bad leaders. And I think many of us can acknowledge and recognize that there's great examples of good leadership as well as not so good leadership. Therese emphasized that facilitation, it's not just for professional facilitators. It's a really vital skill for anyone looking to influence or to collaborate effectively. The conversation that we had covers a wide range of topics, again, including the significance of listening and storytelling and creating psychologically safe safety in meetings, so everyone can feel free to speak their mind. It's an inclusive environment, and those are sort of spaces that are most dynamic because you get contributions from all sources. One of the things I loved about my conversation with Therese, was her passion for, demystifying facilitation. She effectively communicated how facilitation skills are universal and essential for all leaders, not just those in former leadership roles. Her enthusiasm for helping others improve their facilitation skills was truly, truly inspiring. And when I think about sort of the key lesson I took away that episode was just the importance of the mindset when we're facilitating. Therese highlighted that the way leaders approach their work significantly impacts their effectiveness. Adopting a curious mindset, for example, and being willing to adapt to the dynamics of a room can lead to a much more engaged conversation and dialogue, and which will lead naturally to better outcomes. This reminded me just really of the power of being present and responsive in any collaborative environment. And so I really appreciate Therese for those insights. On to episode number 468. It was a dynamic conversation with Matthew Tack. He is a human performance expert, and we discussed a variety of topics. I mean, it certainly helped. Matthew is a basketball guy, and so at that time, the Luka Doncic trade with the Lakers had recently happened, and so we got into that and what that meant, and whether that made the Lakers a contender. How that helps LeBron James. So we went through that journey as a couple of basketball guys, which was really, really fun. And then we slid it over into the importance of mindset. We still stayed in sports because, again, of his background. So we talked about the mindset of sports as well as in life. Matthew shared his own personal journey from struggling with depression to becoming an entrepreneur and health advocate, emphasizing the significance of nurturing both the mind and the body. In order to think about sort of what I loved about the conversation with Matthew was just his ability to draw parallels between sports and personal development, and that was particularly striking. He emphasized that the competitive spirit and how it can be applied to self-improvement, encouraging listeners to continue to outdo themselves on a daily basis. And you may remember, many of you, I oftentimes reference the BOLD framework, and that the first letter in that framework, B, is better than yesterday. So it's always thinking about how can you outdo yourself and go over and above what you did before. When I think about sort of key lessons from the conversation, it really was the importance of creating priming mechanisms in our daily routines. That could be things like reading or music or even engaging in physical activity, and that's being done to foster creativity and enhance overall well-being. Matt illustrates that that small, consistent actions can lead to significant improvements in both mindset and performance over a period of time. And that's it. I mean, those are the 5 episodes that we presented this past week. They were really, really powerful. I encourage all of you to go back and listen to each one because they really are full of gems. Whether you're looking for motivation or practical tips or just some really, really good stories, these episodes, I think they have a little bit of something for everyone, if you will. And if you enjoyed this review, please drop a comment below and let me know which episode you're most excited to check out or which one you have checked out. And if there was a lesson that resonated with you, let us know. Certainly also hit that follow button and stay updated on future reviews and inspiring content. Remember, living audaciously really means to step into your power, face your fears, and embrace growth. And that's something that we all can do together. And so I say thank you for hanging out with me. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and I promise you I will see you next week. Peace and love, folks. Later. Oh, be audacious, will ya?